So many aliens, holy crap. And he's got help me tattooed on his arm. What the hell? What does that say? I think it says Stooge Fighter 3.
Look, it's the hot new game, Stooge Fighter 3. It's supposed to be the goriest, most violent arcade game since Disemboweling for Dollars. An overhead screen advertises a new kiddie-level arcade game in which you walk around Calcutta trying to match the right body part with the leper who lost it. It's called Mixed Up Mother Teresa.
Is that racist? I don't know. Probably.
These lava screens from Magmetheus show soothing visuals while playing hot techno-lava tunes like, what's lava got to do with it? You always hurt the one you lava. And just let your lava flow.
So many goddamn references.
This humongous expensive game is an all-time favorite. You have to duplicate famous gourmet dishes while piloting vintage combat aircraft against the Nazi menace. It's called Secret Recipes of the Luftwaffe.
Oh no. Real talk, I have played Swazzle. That's terrible. Secret weapons of the Luftwaffe being changed to recipes. My god.
This arcade, known to the locals as Dismembers Only,
Cute.
is
I
filled
like
with
that.
lowlifes, druggies, and juvenile delinquents from all over the galaxy. And those are just the employees.
Dismembers only. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's last year's hot arcade punch-em-up, more dull combat too. This little purple being is kicking Fanny on this game. He's built up an audience.
What game is it though?
This is one of those exciting racing games where you careen around corners at top speed, zoom over crumbling bridges, run over passers-by, collide with other vehicles, and fly off the track. It's called Virtual Amtrak.
If I was American, I think that would make a lot more sense. Who have we got here?
Cool. It's a potential sucker trying to decide if it's worth it. There's a serious dweeb factor happening here.
Once again, I played Swazzle, it's not worth it.
Now that's an interesting specimen. Is this place the backwoods of the universe or what? Interesting head formation. He looks like one of those cranium suckers you saw in a scary movie once. Guess that means you'll be safe.
Or maybe a Dungeons & Dragons campaign.
Another in the wide variety of life forms you've seen on this planet. This guy just stands there, looks, and fires an occasional lunger. How did all these forms manage to come together in one place? Normally, you'd have to travel light years to run into just a few different life forms. This place has the odds beaten big time. This rough, tough cream puff is positively myrtleizing that machine.
Myrtleizing?
That's one hefty teenager. Must be from the Mariposa planetoid.
Myrtleizing. Lovely word.
It's hard to see with this big oaf in front of it, but this looks like the hot new game, Beat the Crap Out of Urkel. It replaces last year's Smash game, Beat the Crap Out of the Encyclopedia Britannica kid. You know, the one that keeps saying, ouch, you broke my mandibula.
Jesus, game.
This arcade and those...
What is Sarah? I thought I might have been pointing to something here.
It looks a lot more detailed than it did in Space Quest 4, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. But it's come at the cost of losing 1/3 of the screen down here.
What can be said that isn't painfully obvious? This guy looks like a well-used railroad spike. Perhaps the rust and mushroomed head give it away.
Yeah, is there anything I can do here?
So this is Stooge Fighter 3. Doesn't look so tough to me.
Say, partner, care to indulge in a friendly game? By the way, the name's Jerkwad. What's your mama call you?
A mistake. But my friends
Ouch.
call me Roger. Roger Wilco.
Well, it's darn fine to meet you, Roger. So, what do you say to a friendly little round of Stooge Fighter 3?
Can I play for free? Yeah, let's rumble.
Gosh, Mr. Jerkwad, that sounds neat.
From Scumsoft. Let's play using the keyboard. Let's use my other hand for this. A to move backward, S to duck, D to move forward, Q, W, E to attack, it's moving by itself, play using the mouse, A, B or C to attack, joystick pads to move forward, back or duck. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go.
Get ready to rumble!
Q is like a high punch or something. B looks similar, but I'm pushing E and not much is happening. The fuck? I'm mashing buttons and not much is happening. It's like the game's got some serious input delay where if the enemy is... You lame brain? Really? If the enemy is making an attack or a move, then that's going to take priority. What is that thing down there?
Rumble.
I assume I need to win this. Yeah, it's like the moment you make an attack like that, you can't really do anything else. Street Fighter 2 or 3, this is nice. So what is the difference between these attacks? Is it just range or damage? All I'm doing is just mashing C at the moment. Nothing more, nothing less. But it looks like you can duck and move around during those animations. That attack is doing so much damage, holy crap. Come on. Well, I think B is probably my most damaging attack. I want to keep an eye on what's going on the left and also look at the health bar at the same time, and it's not really working. Yeah, all of these attacks are doing very little damage, eh? That wrench.
Big Mo wins the match.
Alright.
G. Moiter you.
Ugh. Can we go again, or is that it?
Wow, man. I guess I got real lucky. Or maybe you were holding back on me. Nah, you wouldn't do that, would you? You don't look that bright. I mean, that probably isn't your style.
I'm just bad at video games, dude.
Wanna play again?
Absolutely.
I've thought it over. I think I'll give it a try. Let's do it, Tentacle Head.
Rude.
Great! I can't wait to waste you. You're gonna bring good money at the slave colony.
I just realised that this here is the pit stage from Mortal Kombat. That's pretty cool. Let me try a different character. Another great game from the fine folks at Scumsoft? No, it absolutely sucks. Let's try you. Because you've actually got a very powerful attack by the looks of it. I can't see why skipping this. This disappears automatically. What if I can combo things like that?
Let's get ready to rumble!
Jesus.
Oh, a wise guy. Oh, a wise guy. See that? Hit that.
How is he doing so much damage? Yeah, this was better when the three names are just referenced as the moons of Clorox or the sons of Clorox or whatever they are.
Oh, a wise guy.
This sucks.
See that? Hit that. Oh, a wise guy.
He's pretty much interrupting my attacks, as he's programmed to do.
Oh, a wise guy.
Alright.
See that? Hit that.
How can they do so much damage like that? Because it looks like when I'm doing those individual attacks, it is doing very, very little
Willie
damage.
Joe wins.
Maybe what I have to do is just sort of combine them, combo them somehow. I'm really not sure about this. Let me just lose here again. And what I'll do is probably edit in a good run. So yeah, this is going to take a while, I think.
See that?
Yeah, look how much damage that did.
Hit that.
Can I combo?
No.
Not by the looks of it. It just looks like I'm doing no damage.
Oh, a wise guy. Oh, a wise guy.
Yeah, and things like ducking and attacking, moving forward and attacking, that doesn't exist.
See that? Hit that.
Maybe this is why Sierra went out of business. Maybe they tried creating a fighting game like this and failed abysmally. Alright,
Willie Joe wins the match.
I'll try a few times to get through this and I will cut it in.
Boiler you.
Anything new here?
Hey, this guy's good. You can kiss this game goodbye.
Yeah, like I need you rubbing it in.
Sorry.
Just a little bit of a fourth wall break there. Can I do this again?
Wanna play again?
Alright, let me see if I can do this.
I've thought it over.
Oh, go. Oh, go.
Okay, so after a couple of attempts, I've more or less come to the conclusion that this is unwinnable at this
Big
time.
Mo wins the match. He boilered you.
I did have at least one run where I took him down to about 25% with about 75% on my bar. And then the next couple of hits that he did took me down by an absolutely ridiculous amount. So I suspect this is rigged so that we can't pass it just yet.
It's the... This humongous... It's...
I don't know if there's something we can do to this machine or something to his playing ability, but I don't think we can pass this at this time.
You drool in that... Leave him alone. It ignores you. Some of these beings act like mannequins. They're fully developed physically, but they seem perfectly content to just stand and look at the pretty lights. Weird.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Your words are... You drool in that direction, but no one notices.
Oh, this player's changed. It used to be a mushroom dude.
That bores me so. What can be said? It's last year. Isn't it funny how the wimpiest little nerds are always best at these fighting games?
Oh, you say that now, but
Nothing
Evo is a thing. You say that now, but Evo is a thing.
Hey, don't put your mouth on that.
Right, let's see what else we can do here.
Not now. It's intensely involved in its game. It wouldn't be prudent to do that at this juncture. You summon the ability to leave it alone. That wouldn't prove fulfilling. Your words, your utterances
So we have a bar. I'm not actually done at the bar yet. Let me go back to the bar. I need to go upstairs and check out that other room. We have an arcade where there is an arcade game which I am either terrible at or it is rigged so that I cannot pass it. Roger, what are you doing? I'd like you to walk in here, please, but I'm having a hell of a hard time doing so.
You can't reach that.
Can I at least walk there, please? I'm clicking the mouse there, but it's not letting me go there. What was that? I missed it. I think it said colon of doom or something. Yeah, I couldn't walk there earlier. Alright, so I can potentially reconfigure this guy. This gizmo to do something with the Endodroid, but that's going to involve reading the manual. What is up here? More patrons. Alright, I can't walk over to the left. Let's have a look around.
A waitron hovers about, tray in claw, tending to the upstairs clientele. It makes decent tips, especially for a synthetic being. This guy looks like he just got back from Cybernam.
Ugh. Touchy.
Wow, this sucker makes even you look like GQ material. These nitro suckers come in all types. They're all drawing on the hoses. Amazingly, they don't freeze. They just glaze over for a few moments while the others laugh. This one has a tattoo which says, "I love Lula." These nitro this one these this
Nothing. I assume I can't talk to
to
them?
say something and
No.
wow, fancy.
What is this area?
The second floor of the nightclub does justice to the first.
This stain on the wall.
The walls up here maintain the same conduit theme as below. Gee, an empty booth. Perhaps you should clean it.
Can I sit down here?
It's too humiliating to sit alone.
Apparently not.
How
What?
it must...
Holy shit, what did you just do to your head? My eyes were here. He just did something.
How trendy. Cargo ship grating seems to have been used in an artsy fashion to create flooring for the loft area. It must be pretty interesting below when someone up here rejects whatever substances they may have consumed over the previous couple of hours.
It would just drip straight through the floor. Lovely.
Ah, the simple things in life. The elevator ride. To get to the planet, you were scanned down to the subatomic particle, transmitted hundreds of kilometers, and then reconstituted in just the same unfortunate fashion in which you were scanned. Despite the incredible technological feat that represents, your big thrill so far on the trip has been the elevator ride. Simple is as simple does.
And you know what? That's totally fine. Can we talk to the waitress? Waitron?
Howdy, dollface. What can I get ya?
Nothing right now, thanks.
Okay, you just let me know if you change your mind, hon.
You start to see...
Alright, I'm terrified of you. It's like I didn't see it clearly, but you ripped off your scalp, exposed your brain, and did something.
In this case, I'd suggest you just talk to yourself. In this case...
We can't do anything up here.
It's too...
Really? I want to see that again, and I want to look at him again, if possible, while he is doing it. And by that, I mean actually click there with the eyes. But I don't know if he's going to do it again in a timely manner. All right, what's she doing here? She's setting up the booth?
A waitron hovers...
Gee, she looks pretty busy right now. Gee, she looks pretty busy right now.
I wonder if I could have touched her while she was attending to the booth. Like maybe snatch something from her behind.
An empty booth.
There's got to be something I can do up here, surely. Because right now it doesn't look like there's anything I can interact with either now or in the future.
Howdy.
Nothing.
Okay.
Gee,
I could potentially order something later on. Yeah, here we go. He's got a drink.
This guy looks like he just... This guy...
That's sickening. Holy shit. Rips off his head, then pours the drink down into the space where his brain should be. Holy fuck. I would love to see if I can interact with her just a fraction sooner while she's working on that booth. Oh,
Hey, buddy, get your paws out of my tips or I'll liberate your favorite organ. I'll even let you choose. Or you can leave my tips alone and you won't have to worry about that decision. It's up to you.
that voice recording. Yeah, okay. Can I try grabbing them again?
You snag a buckazoid off the Waitron. How cool you are.
Right, we are rich. We have one buckazoid. I imagine if we try that again, we'll get spotted. That was worth 3 points. I really want to try doing that again while she's working here. See if there's anything else she's holding. We have a buckazoid. What can I do with it? Maybe I could use it to purchase a drink downstairs. Maybe. Maybe that's why the option wasn't working earlier. Let me just wait for her to come back in here and I'll try using the hand icon inappropriately on her again. Okay, here we go.
You snag a buckazoid off the Waitron. That wouldn't...
I got another one. Man, this poor Waitron is going to be so distressed when her tips don't add up. Alright, so apart from doing that and getting some money, I don't see what the points of going up there is.
What can I...
what if you...
Well, aside from the obvious stuff, which...
Alright, let's try one of these.
Okay, you got it, pal.
I don't get this. Nothing appears on the bar, nothing disappears out of our inventory, and nothing appears in our inventory. Something is not right here, I think. Okay. I think we're done with this little section. Let me move on and we'll check out the rest of this shithole. Or not.
The street's a little bit cleaner.
Fuck. What is going on here? Did
No,
I just get
cannot
mugged?
be. It is. It's Elmo Pug, the former CEO of Scumsoft. Hard times have hit him like a ball-peen hammer between the, eyes. Maybe there is a karma ferry.
That dude from Space Quest 3. It looks like he walked straight up to us and mugged us. I've still got everything though. Huh. I'm hoping I can talk to him at some point or we hear his voice just so I understand what it actually is because I almost died doing that voice in Space Quest 3. Alright, let's get out of here. If I can. Something's very, very wrong with this interface, so. Clicking exit there. Can we get there? Well done, Roger. Well done.
Elmo has definitely taken a turn for the worse. You'd like to think it was your exit from the admittedly captive rank of that off-world sweat orb, Scumsoft Incorporated. It was probably something dumb like a compulsion for pet projects or personally beneficial programs over those things important to the company as a whole. Nah, that couldn't be it.
Ooh. Someone has a bone to pick. Alrighty. In between that little cut there on the audio and of the icon moving around, and right now, I have taken a look at the manual. And I did see something in here about polysorbonate 60. Honestly, there isn't terribly much there. It just talks about it's a romantic place. The president of the planet's Chamber of Commerce, Marcus Hudrikian. I don't know if that's a reference to something. And there's a bunch of movies there. Did I mention they've actually filmed movies here? Did you ever see Knights of the Impaler or Knights of the Eviscerator? Yeah, nah. Once again, it's one of these manuals. But have a look on the right-hand side there. It talks about a homing beacon puzzle, which involves a data recorder, which looks very, very familiar. I don't exactly know if we turn the data recorder into a homing beacon right now, or whether that's something we need to do later. But having seen this right now, I do want to try and solve it. And this is actually one of those, it's one of those puzzles that I used to do as a kid where you had to identify, like you had 5 people, 5 different attributes, 5 other attributes, and you had to sort of line them up together, draw like a grid and cross things out through a process of elimination. And this is actually very similar. So if I go back to the game very quickly and just take a look at the data recorder, I think I can turn it into a homing beacon, but I'm not sure why I'd want to do this just yet. So there's basically 4 parts to this. We've got A, B, C, D, E, which are the sensor arrays. We have the plates, these large things, which have a 2-letter acronym. We have chips associated to the plates, and they can be swapped out, as we saw last time. And finally, we also have IRKs. I think that's supposed to be a clever reference to IRQs, but we could turn one of them on per sensor array, and the IRQ is unique. So for example, if I turn on IRQ 5 here, I'm already saying IRQ, it's IRK. If I turn this one on here, that one will turn off. The manual makes it pretty clear that there is a combination of these settings that I need to use. These aren't a combination of anything, this is basically just a list of everything. But underneath that, it's got the clues. Blah, blah, blah. These need to follow, but there's some confusion about the remaining plates of those 3, blah, 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 blah. It says continuing on page 12. We'll just scroll past all of this, including a periodic table of the elements. God, that's bringing back some high school memories. And then on page 12, there's a whole bunch of other clues here. So, to try and solve this very sophisticated riddle, I have opened up some sophisticated image editing software. Specifically, it's Microsoft Paint, but I can't show the top part because OBS doesn't like it. And I'm going to try and work through this step by step to see if I can figure this out. Just want to get my screens in order. I've got the game over here, and I've got Microsoft Paint over here. It is tricky, but I'll see what I can do. Well, let's get to work. All 5 plates are needed to create a homing beacon. We know FCO and TT. Let me grab the acronyms first. So we've got 5 plates here. Let me just grab their acronyms really quickly. Okay, they are TT, PS, SE, RF, and FC. Do you have that? Because I don't. Let me write those down. This is actually much harder than I thought it would be. So over here we have RF, SE, and PS. These 3 smack bang in the middle. We know that one of them needs to be at E. One of the others has to be IRK1. And one of them must use the Spentium. That much is known, but what we don't know is what goes where. We're way too far away from being able to determine that at this time. We do know for sure that the tachyon transmitter, that's this guy here, should use the Dentium chip and should not be placed at sensor array C. Alright. Let's cross this one out. Tachyon transmitter should not be at C, so I can cross that out. And it should use the Dentium chip, so I can do this. And likewise, for these other ones, I can cross all of these out. to switch back to the game. So the tachyon transmitter, wherever it is, should be using the Spentium chip. This thing, no, what one was it? I've forgotten already. The Dentium chip. So the tachyon transmitter should be using that. Cool. That's one part done. About 20 others to go. Just going to circle that just so that I recognize that I've done that. Tachyon transmitter should use the Dentium chip. Got that. And should not be placed at sensor array C. Right. The particle shield should not be placed at sensor array E. So it should not be there. It's done as well. The subspace emitter should not use IRK7. Cool. Ooh, here we go. The recalibrating fluctuator should be placed at sensor array A and be set to IRK9. So recalibrating fluctuator should use IRK9 and needs to be set at A. And that's a lot of information. And likewise, we can cross 9 and A out of all the others because that space is now occupied. Let's put that in. RF A9. Switch that one off before I forget. RF A9. Cool. The feedback cutter offer won't work with the Fermentium chip and should not go in sensor array B or C. Feedback, this guy. So it doesn't go in B or C. It won't work with Fermentium. The plate that uses IRK3 also uses Dimtel. That's a reference. What does that tell me? Honestly, that doesn't tell me a lot. But if we can rule out 3 on any of these... Yeah, okay, so we can rule out 3 on the recalibrating fluctuator because that's been reserved as 9. That means that Dimtel is not being used here. I don't see anything else that we can get out of that at this time. The place in sensor array D must be set to IRK5. Yeah, if any of these had D or 5 ruled out, we would be able to rule out the other, but I can't do that just yet. The only one we can rule out is the RF, but we kind of already know that. Alright, I can't cross that information out yet because we still need that information elsewhere. Alright, what on earth do we do? Of the other 3, we know that one must be placed at sensor array E. Look at this. What were they? The particle shield, subspace emitter, and recalibrating fluctuator. So, how did I rule out... I'm just taking a quick look up here just to make sure I haven't made a mistake. The particle shield should not be placed at sensor array E. That's that one that I've crossed out there. And the recalibrating fluctuator should be at sensor array A. That means that the subspace emitter must be at E. The RF doesn't go there, we've established that as A, and subspace emitter, or sorry, the particle shield, should not be at E. Okay, that's pretty simple. So this guy, subspace emitter, goes at E. Subspace emitter. Alright, what about the RF and the PS? One of the others must be set at IRK1. It can't be the RF because the RF is, we were told to set that to 9. So the particle shield must be at IRK1. Now, that said, I don't know where it goes, so I can't actually set it on the... I can't actually set it inside the data recorder just yet. So let me just mark that with a square because I don't know where it belongs yet. Once I know where it belongs, I can do that. So IRK1 and the particle shield are associated. But look at this, the RF has to be assigned to the Spentium. Like so. That much we do know. So let me switch back. I need to put the Spentium chip inside here. We have one down. Okay, cross you out. Let me just rewrite this down here. Alright, so most of the clues are actually dealt with now. We just need to figure out what to do with these last 3 here. IRK 1, 3, and 5. What about Dimsel? Oh, look at this. The feedback cutter offer has to go in D by the looks of it. I don't exactly know how we've managed to narrow that down. We know where A and E belong. Ah, it said that it doesn't belong in B or C. Okay, so the feedback cutter offer goes in D, and it goes in IRK5, as per that. That one is dealt with. So we can cross out 5 and D on all the others. Not sure why I didn't cross these out, but okay, fine, whatever. What else we got? What else we got? It can't be the Dimsel. This feedback cutter offer, we've locked out Dentium and Spentium and Fermentium somehow. Not sure how we locked out. Yep, okay, we locked that out using this. That means it also can't be Dimsel because IRK3 belongs to Dimsel. Therefore, this has to be Repentium. We have 2 down. What is left? Fermentium, Dimsel. We said that the particle shield was associated to IRK1. IRK1 cannot be the Dimsel, so the particle shield must be Fermentium. I can set that up, but I don't know where it actually goes yet. Particle shield, Fermentium goes in here. And purely through a process of elimination, but I'll bring up the paints thing in just a moment, the Dimsel must go in sensor array D for the feedback cutter offer. Wait. I made a mistake here. What have I done wrong? 5DR. Okay, I see that I've put this in the wrong spot. That belongs in the feedback cutter offer. Sensor array D. So the feedback cutter off is fine, subspace emitter is fine, particle shield. Let's go back to the particle shield. We want to put fermentium into the particle shield. We don't know which array it goes into yet though, it's either B or C. Okay, that is done. The dim cell goes into the subspace emitter. Let's check that. Yes, so if fermentium is taken by the particle shield, then dim cell goes inside the subspace emitter. So all of the chips have been allegedly identified. IRK3 is associated to dim cell, so that means that the subspace emitter in E must be set to 3. Like so. What do we have left here? The tachyon transmitter, it looks like that has to go into B. I'm not sure how we ruled out C. How was C ruled out? Yep, there we go. The first thing there. Should not be placed in sensor array C. So the tachyon transmitter goes in B. And it looks like the only choice we have for that is IRK7. And without looking at the rest, I assume that this goes in C, IRK1. We get no feedback telling us that the puzzle was successful though, so there we go.
There seems to be something stopping the data quarter from transmitting.
So let me just write down the solution to that very quickly because I'm going to forget. Okay, that was an ordeal, but I think I've got the answer right here. So if I need to do this again later in the game, if I screwed up or for whatever other reason, I can reproduce it by using that as the puzzle solution there. Cool. Made some progress, but I don't exactly know what I've achieved. So if I switch it on,
There seems to be something stopping the data quarter from transmitting.
it becomes a homing beacon. And I assume I can hit auto reconfigure to undo everything that I just did, but I really don't want to.
They don't do anything when you touch them. They just light up. This is the data quarter's LCD view screen. See how easy? This is the data quarter's LCD view screen. When powered up, the chemical compound being scanned for appears on this screen. When reconfigured for other modes, the name of the mode appears on this screen. See how easy? And it really, really works.
What is it doing?
This is the data quarter's LCD view screen. See?
It's scanning for a chemical compound. I'm going to hit this. I've got the solution. It's easy enough to redo. Looking for a chemical compound.
You have successfully
Tritium. I see. These are chemicals. Okay. But I can turn it into a homing beacon of some sort. Alright, let me just reconfigure it again. Again, not certain what the purpose of this is, but I'm just going to do it very quickly.
There seems to be something...
Right, again, not certain what I've accomplished there, but at least I can say I've got something accomplished in this video. Oh man, something is really wrong with this game. There we go.
Elmo has definitely taken a turn for the worse.
Can I have a chat to you?
Hey!
You've got a voice.
Say, you look familiar. Didn't I kick your butt in a huge robot once?
Oh yeah, that. I hope to forget that. It was the beginning of my undoing. I was a laughingstock around the company in the final days of Scumsoft. Oh well, if that hadn't gotten me, some of my other creative management techniques would have. In looking at the big picture, I suppose that arrangement left me with all my physical assets intact. Not a single other thing, unfortunately. I'm humiliated to admit that I have, on rare occasion, resorted to selling cheat sheets for arcade games. I've got to maintain a fairly, modest profile, I guess you could say. Time heals wounds and all that. Plus, maybe I can avoid a premature termination.
Wow. That's all very interesting. And very boring, if you don't mind my saying.
I was about to ask
what
that.
I want to know is, can you sell me a cheat sheet for Stooge Fighter 3?
How many Buckazoids?
Well, I think I may be able to facilitate that. I may have one in stock. Okay, here's what I need from you. A nice new bottle of Cold Sordian brandy.
Swansea.
If you can deliver that, I think we can call it a deal. My people, I'll be waiting to take delivery from you so that we can put a bow on this deal. Catch you later.
So why do we need to beat this guy at Stooge Fighter 3? I'm certain we'll get something out of it, but I actually don't know what. We need to get the cheat sheet off him, but we need 20 Buckazoids so we can go to Bootlicker and purchase brandy, give it to him, we'll get the cheat sheet, and then beat that guy. I've seen that I can grind Buckazoids perhaps by taking them off the waitress at the bar, but there's got to be a more efficient way, surely. Alright, I'll explore around here in a sec. I just want to confirm that going right takes me back to the start. There we go. Space Quest 6. Roger Wilco and the Colon of Doom. Charming.
You wonder if there could be any connection between this kind of waste disposal and a thriving business like implants and stuff. Wow, that's kind of deep for you.
That's terrible.
A very odd fixture occupies a good portion of this corner. Its purpose is irrelevant, as it seems to be the victim of a lack of maintenance and some sort of clinging mineral-like deposit, which have been laid down in several arch-shaped patterns. A sensible person would be afraid to find out what this caps off. That being the case, I'll take the liberty of telling you that it's something you don't want to mess with.
In that case, we need to mess with it.
Don't pick at it. Don't touch. Don't.
No.
Some wise sap closed up shop and jammed from this dying settlement. The skyline is anything but beautiful. Flames burn off the gases that can't be contained in the short-sighted dumping facilities. If you weren't so simple-minded, you might actually be depressed by the sight. But then, it's not your planet, so why should you care?
Great philosophy.
This part of town is almost as glamorous as the rest.
Now, there's an establishment still in operation. With this climate, it's no wonder that people might need to track down replacement parts for even the most organic of the population. I wonder if, nah, never mind.
Don't even think about it, Roger.
Now, there's an interesting sounding business name. You wonder what they sell.
Now,
this part of town, it's the Do Beam Inn, but I'm sure they accept pedestrians also. The door hinges aren't exactly overheated from a steady flow of eager patrons.
I'm not sure what the pun is there.
This part of town is...
Now,
some wide...
Alright, I do recall going left on my testing, but let me just go down here. Let's check out this store first. Fester?
Yikes! Can it
It
be?
is.
Why, yes it is. It's Fester Blatz, former owner and proprietor of Fester's World o' Wonder.
How do you pronounce Feelabot?
Cheesy little tourist trap on the desert planetoid of Fleabot.
Fleabot, really?
The t-shirt looks, and unfortunately smells, like the same one he wore on Fleabot. He has the expression of someone enjoying a permanent wedgie. He has aged somewhat. Looks like he's grown a few more neck rings. These last few years have been rough on him. From what you remember of him, he used to be kind of an aqua blue. Now he looks like a used lug liner, or the color of a Vorillion miner's loogie.
My dreams have been shattered. I genuinely thought it was Feelabutt. I prefer Feelabutt, honestly. Nah, it's Fleabutt. Dang. Lovely Fester. We heard Elmo's voice earlier, and I definitely didn't get his voice right in Space Quest 3. What about your voice, sir?
Howdy, stranger. The name's Blatz. Fester Blatz. Welcome to Implants and Stuff.
I was
Go
close.
ahead. Have a look around at some of the most interesting replacement body components this lovely planetoid has to offer.
Oh, a nice fresh sales pitch.
I think I was actually close on that voice.
Go ahead and look around, partner. I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have about my fine line of merchandise. Yes, sirree, have a look. Go ahead and look.
What does it say behind him? Dumb, a brain company.
It's a marketing device for dumb. They design and manufacture a wide variety of implants, prosthetics, and conversion attachment kits. Hopefully, their product is better made than their sign is.
Yeah, I got 'em in a few months ago, fresh from the harvesting facility. Genuine dumb brand cranial stocks. Perfect for when just one or two accidental nicks from those amateur scalpels can render your home-built being useless as lips on a... Oh, never mind. Just rip out that old stock and slam in one of these little beauties and your home-built being will be carrying out your bidding in no time. Guaranteed.
I'm concerned by the way you're describing them as home-built beings. Like, if you're talking about a robot or whatever, that's fine, but if we're putting an actual organic part into a robot, that's mildly disturbing. If we're not talking about a robot at all, that's even worse.
Well, geez, guy, I seem to be a little short on these right now. Slide on by in a month or two and I should be all stocked up again. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this is the only place on the planet to get a good lobe piercing, I tell ya. And even though we don't have to, we do use only Lorshan quality body part piercing products. Less chance of pus buildup and drainage that way. That stuff tends to dull the erythrium coating on the hardware.
Piercing the brain, my god.
So this is where old Fester ended up after the total collapse of the never-thriving tourist trade on that sandy planetoid Fleabutt. He seems to know how to land on his feet, no matter how fungally challenged they may be. Now you know what happened to the infamous R2 line of droids. They've been reduced to carrying out the most trivial of tasks. Fester's using one for a Gen Blood blender. How sad. The R2 line of droids seemed like the hottest thing going in their day. Then they found that one little flaw in the programming. Unfortunately, the princess's personal life will never be quite the same.
Cute.
Now you know the...
Them syringes you can use with lidocaine if you got some. Sometimes you gotta give old Butch a jump start right at first.
Don't know what to make of that. That's disturbing, though.
An empty tank of Gen Blood sits in the dust. A generic synthetic blood which was originally designed for use as a temporary blood substitute in the event of traumatic loss. It has become a favorite in the You Build a Beast Brotherhood.
You build a beast. Your homemade being, perhaps.
It's empty. Picking up useless items like that will only serve to clutter up your inventory window. Pocket.
Well played, narrator. Well played. You saw that it was renamed.
That's delightfully non-helpful.
Careful, boy. You don't want to be pricking yourself with one of those. They aren't approved for first species use. We pick them up used from organ pirates who specialize in harvesting stuff from battle zones. Wouldn't want you to go mentioning that to anyone, you understand.
That's not too wise. One should be prudent when one has so little to sacrifice in the first place.
So what are these things? Are they brains?
Brain-dead products have been a staple of the home-built being hobbyist for decades now. They make a fine line of adapter plugs which allow for cross-species component swapping.
Jesus.
And you'll be able to pick up parts anywhere other beings exist. Nice deal, huh?
They also make a pretty fine moddy. Get tired of what kind of mood your droid, or spouse for that matter, is in? Why, you just slap in one of those babies and bingo! You can modify them into a whole new attitude. Find a wife type who won't pay some big buckazoids for that. Too bad the sale of them is illegal. About all I do is trade for them. It's one of them loopholes, guess you could say. Kinda developed a hobby of collecting the suckers.
So we can't purchase these things, but we could trade for them perhaps. What's behind you?
The drawers seem to be crammed with Moddy's plug-in modification implants and the various adapters necessary to make them work universally. Fester has quite a collection of these, which is surprising. The sale of those things was banned years ago.
Cerebral fluid?
Yeah, sometimes when you do a lot of cranial work, you gotta replace the fluid so the old brain isn't just bouncing around in there like a BB. But then you're probably already used to that.
Damn, dude.
Well, I tell you, I kinda hate the idea of opening that up right now. You see, we had a power outage a few weeks back, and my service hasn't gotten over here to clean it out yet. That cranial fluid is some skank spew when it warms up. Woo. Well, come on back by next week and maybe we'll have some.
I don't have until next week. Although having said that, I'm not sure what I'm doing here or why.
Don't touch that. We don't know where you've been.
Alright.
Wow, an Apple II Plus running biorhythms. You thought IBM had rounded all those up and landfilled them decades ago, back when Apple started the push to open home computing to the public, making it fun and accessible. Don't mess with that. It's old.
Yeah, and it's now 2023 and Apple diversified, shall we say. Alright, let's finally take a look at these brains, front and center.
This one's labeled fresh. By the looks of things around here, fresh is a very relative term. You display your standard blank stare. You display not much.
I can't look at that one.
You look at it. That board.
That's just a generic, you're looking at something that is not specified response.
So this is where old. It looks a lot more detailed than it did in Space Quest. Not much.
Oh, that one there's a beaut. Has a dang airbag built right in. It's great for when your beast's motor skills just aren't up to par. Oh, they were designed during the days of warp drive testing. They didn't always pick clean courses to test run in them days, and there would be an occasional warp speed asteroid strike, which of course resulted in a seriously non-graceful deceleration, you might say.
What's special about this Abby Normal guy? Good night, Mr. Feldman, wherever you are.
I was hoping Fest would tell me. That is another reference that I do not understand.
I'm sure you'd love to be able to play with it. You've always wanted to. That just isn't on the agenda this game, Roger.
I think that's a generic message as well.
I'm sure you'd love. I'm sure. Don't touch. That wouldn't. That's. I'm sure. It feels. That's.
So I assume that I need to bring something here and give it to him directly. Because I can't grab any of these brains. I don't know why I'd want one of these yet. What is that?
So this is where.
It's like a little thing poking out there. It looks like we can reach out and grab it or squeeze it perhaps. Alright, I don't think there's anything we can do here. Super interesting though. Hello?
Interesting. She appears to be waiting for someone. She might be one of those professional ladies your mom told you about.
Game, come on. It's 2023. I've got a horrible feeling she might be from the intro.
She says, "Scrump off, you little felchmonger."
And that couldn't be voice acted by a lady because...
Interesting. She appears... You could never have enough buckazoids, mop breath. There's only one way to find out if they mean what they say.
Alright, let me go left. Again, the game's very weird sometimes. I click over there and I don't move over there. I have to click around a few other places first. Yeah, I came in here on my testing and there's a lot happening. This guy, I think, goes into the elevator. See, that's a pillar or a column. It generally looks like there's like a split screen going on here. Like that's one side and this is a totally different room, but it's the same room. What have we got here?
Nice place if you're a fan of dives. Nice place. An elevator. Boy, this place has everything. You look at it. You look at it. Ah, this place still has those old-style ray projection infomercial viewers. What rubes. Nice place. Nice place.
That looks a bit suspicious.
The couch and chair seem to be made of some of the universe's finest Elvatine material, the official velvet of the Presley estate.
Yeah, I was looking at that word, Elvatine. It's like, that looks like Elvis. Presley estate? Come on.
Those are some interesting-looking dudes. Must be a couple of real losers, since they seem to be dateless. Of course, that won't be a problem for you once word gets around that you've hit the planet. Can you believe he actually thinks that?
Some sort of love hotel.
Nice place. Those are some can you believe? Those are some can you Ah, this place still. Nice place. That's the manager of this little slice of heaven. He looks like he's an expert on energy conservation. Mainly his. The desk, while mimicking some control console look, serves as not much more than a place for the desk clerk to rest his heavily bunioned hind feet. The desk. That's the inn's transaction register. It says, if you have a buckazoid, give a buckazoid. If you need a buckazoid, take a buckazoid. Not too surprisingly, it's empty.
I wonder if we can put a buckazoid in there. We've got two of them at the moment.
An electronic proximity sensor-activated bell, probably used to signal for attention, rests on the counter.
That thing is a bell.
That's the manager of...
Alright, let's try and have a chat to some of the people here.
Your utterances fall on...
Got a point for that.
He seems to be ignoring you.
We got a point for trying to speak to him, though. Same as Elmo Pug outside.
Excuse me. I'd like a room, please.
Really? I mean, really? Well, I think we got one or two for a couple of $100 buckazoids a night. In advance, you understand.
I believe I have a prepaid reservation provided me by StarCon.
Oh.
I got no reservations from any StarCon.
Okay, never mind.
I got no reservations, period. I do a cash business. You want a room, cough out the buckazoids.
So that's, 200. Well, okay.
200? Don't you listen, son? I said 300. That's 300 a night. And I don't include any weird pets. Them's extra.
I could have sworn you said...
You calling me a liar? I don't need no guff from the likes of you. This is the finest lodging on the planet, son. If you don't like the prices, you can just take your sorry, pinkish carcass out of here.
Well, 300? Okay. But give me your finest room then.
The finest room. Yeah, right. You got it, buckaroo. Best in the house. Coming right up. Pay up, and we're in business.
Yeah, Roger, you're not going to have any success haggling there. That is not a fight you're going to win. I'm guessing I can't use the elevator until I've paid.
That boy...
Hey, where you going, son? That's for paying customers only.
What about the register?
That's the inn's...
Hey, keep your grubby mitts off that. Have a nice day.
You give the bell a pass with your hand. The manager doesn't exactly spring to life in response, but he does stir a bit and grant you a segment of one eye.
I'll do it again.
You give the bell a...
I can, but there's no difference there. Okay. So unless something has changed outside, or if something's changed due to the fact that I've set the data recorder over to the homing beacon setting, I'm not sure what else to try doing here. I'm not sure what else needs to be accomplished. The next mutation. That's actually factual.
Another Orion...